Have you ever held a simple quarter in your hand and thought, what if this ordinary piece of metal is secretly worth more than a house, more than a lifetime of savings, more than you could ever imagine? What if, right now, sitting in your wallet, there's a hidden treasure, a tiny time machine of history that collectors across the world are hunting with obsession and paying fortunes just to own? Welcome to Secret of US Coins, the most trusted, faithful, and newly updated channel that reveals the real hidden stories of America's rare treasures. In today's video, we are diving into the top 7 ultra-rare and most valuable Washington quarters, coins that appear ordinary but are secretly worth staggering amounts of dollars. These are not fairy tales, not fiction. These are real, powerful, verified truths from today's auction markets, where values are climbing higher and higher every single day. Stay with me till the very end, because every coin on this list holds a shocking surprise, and by the time we reach number 1, you will realize you might be holding a fortune right now without even knowing it. Let's unlock the secret of coin number 1. Coin number 1. The year is 1972. America was buzzing with change. NASA was preparing the last Apollo missions. President Nixon was reshaping politics, and everyday people were carrying shiny new quarters in their pockets, never knowing that some of them would one day become treasures of unimaginable value. Among these quarters lies a true legend, the 1972 Washington quarter without a mint mark. Now here's where the story gets fascinating. Normally, coins struck in Philadelphia at that time didn't carry a mint mark. But the condition, rarity, and preservation of these coins separate the common from the extraordinary. And the one we are talking about today, it shines with a beautiful look, still holding its sharp details after decades, and that makes it a jewel in the eyes of collectors. Let's go deeper. This quarter is made of a copper-nickel composition weighing 5.67 grams, with that classic George Washington portrait designed by John Flanagan. On the reverse, the majestic eagle spreads its wings, guarding its perch, a design that millions saw, but only a handful ever recognized as a potential treasure chest. So what makes this particular 1972 quarter without mint mark so unique? First, it's the rarity of its preservation. While most of these coins circulated heavily and lost their luster, this one survived in fine condition, with a beautiful look, as if history itself protected it. Second, it is the demand among collectors. Today's collectors are not just buying coins, they are buying history, they are buying legacy, they are buying something that no modern minting machine can ever reproduce. Now here comes the moment that makes jaws drop. This seemingly ordinary quarter, one you might mistake for pocket change, has a current verified auction market value of $92,000. Yes, you heard me right. $92,000 for a single quarter. That is not less than a hidden treasure locked in your pocket. It is the kind of wealth that can change lives overnight. And let me assure you, this is not exaggeration. This is the truth. The auction prices are climbing, the collector demand is surging, and the market value is increasing day by day. Wait for time. It will only rise because history always rewards rarity. Think about this, a simple 25-cent coin that has now crossed into the realm of pricelessness. The 1972 no mint mark quarter is no longer just currency, it is a living artifact, a collector's crown jewel, a symbol of wealth and prestige. Now, for those of you who dream of becoming coin collectors or even investors, here is a tip. Always look closely at your Washington quarters. Study their year, their mint mark, their condition. Fine details, even a small difference in preservation, can make a gap of thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars in value. The world of coins rewards patience, research, and passion. So the conclusion: if you ever stumble across a 1972 quarter without a mint mark, especially in beautiful fine condition, don't ever take it lightly. What you hold is not a quarter. What you hold is a treasure chest in disguise. A coin that could easily put you among the elite circle of collectors who own one of the most valuable pieces of United States coinage from the modern era. And this is only coin number one. The secrets that remain in this list are even more powerful, even more shocking, and could push your imagination of value to its absolute limit. Stay tuned, because the next coin on our list may just redefine what you think a Washington quarter is worth. Coin number 2. As we move deeper into this list, the mystery grows thicker, and the treasures become even more fascinating. Imagine it is 1987. The Cold War is cooling, technology is on the rise, and Americans are walking around with quarters in their pockets, totally unaware that some of them will one day be worth more than gold bars. Here enters the Washington quarter dollar of 1987 with P mint mark, struck in Philadelphia. At first glance, it looks like any other circulating coin, worn, carrying its battle scars of circulation, even showing brown spots that mark its journey through countless hands and countless years. But that is where the true beauty lies. These imperfections are not weaknesses. They are signatures of authenticity, proof that this coin has lived a story, a journey, a passage through history. Let's explore its design. The obverse proudly displays George Washington's portrait, the vision of the founding father that has been etched into the nation's consciousness for decades. The reverse features the eagle, a symbol of America's strength, perched with wings outstretched. The coin itself is copper-nickel clad over copper, a composition used for circulation coins of the time, weighing 5.67 grams. Millions were minted, but only a microscopic fraction has survived in conditions that make collectors tremble with excitement. So what makes the 1987 with P mint mark quarter so rare, so valuable, so different from the billions of others? It's the combination of age, condition, and collector demand. The brown spots and circulated look might fool an ordinary eye into thinking this is worthless, but for expert collectors, it's proof that this coin is genuine rare and tied to its original mintage. And here's the kicker. Finding a 1987 quarter with this exact mix of preservation, history, and mint mark rarity is like stumbling across a secret hidden in plain sight. Now comes the thunderstrike. While you may see this coin tossed in a drawer or forgotten in a jar of change, the truth is that this 1987 with P mint mark Washington quarter with brown spots in circulated condition is commanding an unbelievable $63,000 in the current auction market. Yes, $63,000 for a quarter that most people would never give a second glance. That is not pocket change. That is a treasure chest disguised as a common coin. And let me tell you this. These prices are not static. They are not frozen. They are climbing. With every passing month, collectors are realizing just how few of these rare pieces exist, and the demand is skyrocketing. Wait for time, and you will see the value rising further, because true rarity never stays hidden forever. Think of it this way. Owning a 1987 with P quarter in this condition is like holding a key to wealth, prestige, and history. It is not just a coin, it is a badge of honor in the world of collecting. The market has spoken, and it is screaming that these coins are treasures beyond measure. Here's a tip for collectors. Never ignore coins that seem flawed or circulated. Those spots, those marks, those tiny details can be the very things that turn a forgotten coin into a multi-thousand-dollar masterpiece. Always check your Washington quarters carefully. Look for mint marks, study the surfaces, and remember rarity hides in plain sight. The conclusion is powerful. The 1987 Washington quarter with P mint mark, once just a piece of change, has now transformed into a priceless gem of numismatics. It is living proof that treasures don't always shine like gold. Sometimes they carry brown spots. They show wear, but they hold stories and value beyond imagination. And friends, we are only at coin number 2. What waits ahead on this list is even more shocking, even more breathtaking, and might just leave you in disbelief at how much value can be locked inside a single quarter. Stay with me, because the best is yet to come. Coin number 3. As we turn the page to coin number 3, the excitement climbs higher. The deeper we dig, the more astonishing these hidden treasures become. And now, we step into the year 1970, a year of transformation in America. The Vietnam War still raged, the Beatles had broken up, and the United States Mint was producing quarters by the millions, never imagining that one of them would rise to legendary status as one of the most desirable treasures in coin history. Here we meet the 1970 Washington quarter without a mint mark. On the surface, it may appear as just another quarter from the early 1970s. But true collectors know appearances are deceiving. Beneath its modest exterior lies a coin that carries immense rarity, a coin that has transformed into a treasure chest for those fortunate enough to discover it. Let's step into the details. The obverse, of course, holds George Washington's strong and timeless profile, created by John Flanagan. The reverse continues with the noble eagle perched proudly, with wings outstretched, clutching its arrows and olive branches. This coin, like others of the time, was struck in copper nickel, clad over copper, weighing 5.67 grams. Yet what sets this coin apart isn't its design, it's the mysterious absence of the mint mark. Normally, coins struck in Philadelphia around this time lacked a mint mark, but here is the difference. The rarity of surviving examples in fine condition has pushed this coin far beyond ordinary. While most of its siblings were worn down in circulation until their details faded into anonymity, this piece survived with grace, its features still crisp, its beauty still visible after decades. That is what makes collectors lean forward with desire. So why is this coin in such high demand? First, it is the scarcity. Thousands, even millions, may have been minted, but only a handful still exist in fine condition without a mint mark. Second, it is the reputation. The 1970 no mint mark quarter has gained a myth-like status among collectors, becoming a symbol of how everyday change can transform into an object of untouchable value. And now, the thunderbolt of truth. This 1970 Washington quarter, without mint mark, in fine condition, is selling today in auctions for an unbelievable $95,000. $95,000. And I repeat, this is not exaggeration. This is not fantasy. This is the real current market value. It is a coin that could make anyone feel like they have discovered a priceless artifact hidden in their very own pocket. This is wealth disguised as change. A big money treasure, a fortune waiting to be unlocked. And let me tell you something even more exciting. The market value of this coin is not standing still. Every year, every auction, every collector who fights to own one drives the price higher. Day by day, the value grows. Wait for time, the future will prove it. This coin is not less than a big treasure. and those who own it are holding history, rarity, and wealth in one. Now, for collectors and dreamers alike, here's my tip. Coins from the 1970s may look ordinary, but they hide secrets. Always study them carefully. Check their mint marks, examine their conditions, and never dismiss a coin simply because it looks like the change in your wallet. The rare ones are out there, and they are waiting for the sharp-eyed treasure hunters to claim them. So what's the conclusion? The 1970 no mint mark Washington quarter is not just a coin. It is a masterpiece of rarity, a silent giant among collectors, and a powerful reminder that true treasures often hide in plain sight. Owning one is like holding a time capsule of American history that grows more valuable by the day. And friends, we are only halfway through this list. What awaits in the next coins will shock you even further. Coins whose stories grow richer and values climb even higher. Stay tuned because the most jaw-dropping secrets are still to come. Coin number 4. As we continue on this treasure journey, the value rises higher, the stories grow richer, and the suspense becomes even more powerful. And now, we step into a year etched into American history. 1942. The world was at war. The United States had just entered World War II after the attack on Pearl Harbor. Across the country, every resource, every factory, every citizen was focused on victory. And in the middle of this turbulent time, the United States. Mint was quietly producing Washington quarters, coins that would become silent witnesses to one of the most defining eras of the 20th century. Among them lies an absolute rarity, the 1942 Washington quarter without a mint mark. At first glance, this coin may not look like treasure. In fact, the one we speak of today shows dirt from decades of circulation, worn, aged, carrying the marks of time. But don't let its appearance fool you. That dirty condition is exactly what tells the story of survival. It's a coin that has traveled through history, perhaps through the pockets of soldiers, war workers, or families living through uncertain times. Now let's look closer at what this coin is made of. Unlike modern quarters, this piece is composed of 90% silver and 10% copper, weighing 6.25 grams. It is not just a coin, it is a piece of real silver, minted in a time when the precious metal was still used in everyday money. On the obverse, we see the familiar portrait of George Washington, bold, steadfast, and symbolic of strength. On the reverse, the majestic eagle stretches its wings, a timeless design that seemed to remind the country of its resilience. But here's the twist. Most 1942 quarters circulated heavily, and very few survived in conditions that collectors now seek. And this particular coin, even in its dirty state, holds incredible power. Why? Because rarity is not always about shine, it's about survival. Very few of these no mint mark quarters from 1942 still exist, and collectors understand that even a circulated example carries immense historical weight. So here is the shocking truth. This 1942 Washington quarter without mint mark, even in dirty, circulated condition, is commanding a jaw-dropping $120,500 in the current auction market. That's right, $120,500. This is not an exaggeration, not a fantasy. This is the living reality of the auction floor today. A simple quarter that once bought a candy bar is now equal to a hidden fortune, a treasure chest wrapped in silver and history. And it doesn't end here. The value of this coin is not frozen. Each year, collectors realize just how rare these surviving examples are, and demand continues to surge. The market value climbs like a rising tide, And mark my words, wait for time, and it will climb even higher. This is not less than a treasure, not less than big money locked in your hand. For collectors, here is a golden tip. Always pay close attention to coins minted during wartime years. 1942, 1943, 1944. These are years when resources were stretched, production carried special meaning, and coins often endured rough circulation. To find one preserved, even in dirty condition, is to hold history that collectors will battle to own. The conclusion is clear. The 1942 no mint mark Washington quarter is not just a coin. It's a wartime relic, a silver treasure, and a collector's dream. Owning one is like holding a piece of America's fight, its resilience, its history, all compressed into a single coin. And the market has crowned it as a treasure worth over $120,000. And we are only on coin number 4. What lies ahead in this list are coins even more shocking, even more valuable, and the deeper we go, the closer we get to the kind of rare treasures that can change your destiny overnight. Stay with me, because the next coin on this journey may just blow your mind. Coin number 5. As we move to coin number 5, the story takes another thrilling turn. Most people believe that only coins from the early 1900s or the silver era can be worth fortunes. But here's the shocking truth. Even coins from the modern era, from as recent as the 1980s, can transform into treasures worth more than a luxury fortune. And nothing proves this better than the 1980 Washington quarter with the P mint mark. Picture this. It's 1980. America is entering a new decade, marked by booming technology, rising economies, and cultural shifts. Millions of Washington quarters were struck in Philadelphia with the P mint mark. To the ordinary eye, they were just pocket change. But buried within that ocean of coins, a tiny fraction survived with unique features, rare preservation, and a story so powerful that collectors today are chasing them like hunters searching for buried gold. The 1980 quarter was struck in copper nickel, clad over copper, weighing 5.67 grams, a standard for its time. On the obverse, Washington's timeless profile, designed by John Flanagan, stares resolutely. On the reverse, the proud eagle stands guard, wings ready for flight. Millions carried these coins without a second thought. But here's where it gets extraordinary. This particular quarter, minted in Philadelphia, carries a distinct brown shade from circulation, a natural patina that proves its journey through decades of history. Some might see those brown shades as flaws. Collectors see them as marks of authenticity, whispers of history that make the coin stand out in a sea of common quarters. And because so few 1980 with P quarters exist in this rare circulated state with such eye-catching coloration, the demand for them has exploded in today's market. And here's the moment that will leave you stunned. This 1980 Washington quarter, with P mint mark, brown shade, and circulated condition, is valued today at an astonishing $72,000 in the auction market. That's $72,000 for what most people would dismiss as loose change. But make no mistake, this is not loose change. This is big treasure, big money, a fortune hidden inside an everyday quarter. And it doesn't stop here. The market value for this coin is not only strong, it is rising. Collectors have realized that modern rarities are just as important as older coins, and values are climbing year by year. Wait for time, and you will see this coin's value grow even higher, because true treasures only gain power with age. So what's the takeaway for collectors? Never ignore coins from the 1980s or 1990s just because they look too modern. Always check the mint marks, the shades, the wear, and the condition. Rarity hides in the least expected places. The brown shade of this coin isn't a weakness, it's a signature of uniqueness that has transformed it into a treasure worth tens of thousands of dollars. The conclusion is simple but powerful. The 1980 with P mint mark Washington quarter has become a collector's dream. From an ordinary coin born in the millions, it has risen into the league of legendary rarities, carrying a current value of $72,000 and climbing. Holding one is not holding a quarter, it is holding a secret fortune, a time-stamped treasure of American history. And remember, we are only at coin number 5. The final 2 coins in this list will push the boundaries even further, revealing values so high and stories so rich that they will leave you absolutely breathless. Stay tuned, because the treasures are only getting bigger. Coin number 6. As we near the climax of this journey, the treasures we uncover become even more astonishing. And now, we land in 1987 once again. The story takes us to Denver. The 1987 Washington quarter with the D mint mark is not just another coin from the late 20th century. No, this one stands apart as a shining jewel, a coin that glimmers with history, rarity, and breathtaking value. Let's step into the time. The year was 1987. America was thriving, culture was shifting, and quarters were being minted by the millions. In Denver, the D mint mark appeared proudly beneath Washington's neck, marking its birthplace. Most of these coins were spent, worn down, and forgotten. But in rare cases, extremely rare cases, a few survived in very fine condition, carrying a beautiful look that made them stand out even decades later. And that's exactly the coin we are speaking of today. This quarter, struck in copper-nickel over copper and weighing 5.67 grams, carries John Flanagan's enduring portrait of George Washington on the obverse, while the reverse showcases the majestic eagle, wings outstretched in timeless strength. But unlike the billions of ordinary quarters, this 1987 with D quarter has something special: its survival in very fine condition. The details of Washington's face remain sharp, the eagle's wings are clear, and its overall look is beautiful, not dulled by time, but preserved like a hidden treasure. Collectors know that condition is king. And when a circulated coin like this survives in such exceptional shape, demand skyrockets. Add to that the rarity of the D mint mark version in this particular state, and you have a coin that collectors chase with intensity. It's the combination of beauty, condition, and history that transforms it from spare change into a priceless gem. And now, the revelation that will leave you stunned. This 1987 Washington quarter with D mint mark, in very fine condition and with its beautiful look, is valued today at an astonishing $66,000 in the current auction market. $66,000 for a single quarter. And let me assure you, this is not fiction. This is truth, the verified current market value that proves this coin is nothing less than a big treasure. But here's the best part: this treasure is not done rising. The market value of such coins is climbing every single day. Collectors know that modern rarities are becoming harder to find, and every year that passes makes this coin rarer, more desirable, and more valuable. Wait for time, and its price will only rise, because history and rarity always reward those who hold on. For collectors, here is the secret: do not underestimate the power of condition. A quarter that looks beautiful and survives in very fine condition can be the difference between pocket change and life-changing value. Always study your 1980s and 1990s quarters carefully, and never dismiss the D mint mark, because coins like this prove their worth in ways no one expects. So what's the conclusion? The 1987 with D. Washington quarter is not just a coin. It is a living treasure, a piece of history transformed into big money, a fortune in disguise. It carries beauty, rarity, and value beyond imagination. At $66,000 and rising, it is proof that even a coin from the modern era can stand shoulder to shoulder with legendary rarities of the past. And now, dear friends, we stand on the edge of the finale. 6 coins revealed, each one a fortune, each one a hidden treasure. But the 7th, the last coin on this list, is waiting, and it may just shatter every expectation you have left. Stay with me, because what comes next is the crown jewel of this entire journey. Coin number 7. And now, my friends, we arrive at the 7th and final coin on this incredible journey. We've uncovered treasures from the 1970s. We've gone back to wartime in the 1940s. We've seen fortunes hidden inside coins from the 1980s. But this last one, this coin, is the crown jewel that brings our story to its powerful conclusion. Let's travel back to 1983. America was alive with energy. The economy was booming. Music and culture were shifting. And the mint in Denver was striking millions of Washington quarters. Most of those coins vanished into the endless flow of everyday transactions. But a handful, a very rare handful, emerged as treasures, destined to become the obsession of collectors. And among them shines the 1983 Washington quarter with D mint mark. At first glance, it looks like a simple coin from the Reagan era, copper nickel clad over copper, weighing 5.67 grams, bearing George Washington's portrait on the obverse and the proud eagle on the reverse. But then you notice something extraordinary. This particular coin has survived with a beautiful look in fine condition. Its details are crisp, its surfaces still hold life, and it carries the aura of a coin that defied time itself. Why does this matter? Because the vast majority of 1983 quarters were beaten down in circulation, worn so heavily that they became almost unrecognizable. Very few were kept aside, and finding one in fine condition with its beauty intact is like discovering a diamond hidden in gravel. Collectors know this truth. Condition creates kings. And that is exactly what makes this 1983 with D mint mark quarter stand in a league of its own. Now comes the breathtaking revelation. This 1983 Washington quarter with D mint mark, in fine condition and with its beautiful look, carries a current auction market value of an astounding $75,000. Yes, $75,000 for a coin that once jingled through pockets, rode in cash registers, and was dismissed as ordinary. Today, it is no longer ordinary. Today, it is a big treasure, big money, a priceless gem of numismatics. And here's what makes it even more thrilling. Its value is not resting. This coin's price is climbing higher day by day as collectors battle to add such rare survivors to their collections. Wait for time, and its worth will soar even further. This is not less than a treasure chest. It is a fortune locked inside a quarter, a miracle of survival that has transformed into wealth. For collectors watching, here's the ultimate tip. Never overlook coins from the early 1980s. They may not seem ancient, but their rarity in fine condition makes them treasures of today. Always check for mint marks. Always examine the beauty and preservation of your coins. Because coins like this prove that true fortune does not always shine in silver or gold. Sometimes it hides in copper and nickel, waiting for someone with sharp eyes to recognize it. The conclusion is powerful. The 1983 with D. Washington quarter is more than just a coin. It is a crown jewel of modern numismatics, a living piece of history that has ascended into the realm of great treasures. With its current value of $75,000 and its price rising with each passing year, it is proof that the everyday can become extraordinary, that the smallest coin can hold the largest surprise. And now, my friends, the journey of these top 7 ultra-rare and most valuable Washington quarters comes to an end. From 1972 to 1987, from dirty circulated survivors to shining fine-condition rarities, we've uncovered treasures worth hundreds of thousands of dollars combined. These are not stories of the past. These are the living truths of today's auction markets, where rarity and history collide to create fortunes. If you've stayed with me through all 7 coins, you now understand the secret. Quarters are not just pocket change, they are hidden treasures, powerful artifacts, and fortunes in disguise. And here on Secret of US Coins, you will always find the truth, the faithful stories, and the newly updated discoveries that no one else will tell you. So stay with this channel. Subscribe, share, and join the journey. Because tomorrow, a new coin story will rise, and it might just be the one sitting in your pocket right now.